Have you ever felt like someone close to you just didn't have your best interests at heart? Have you ever wondered why people who smile in your face turn around and try to tear you down? I want you to listen carefully today because there's something you need to know. Not everyone who claims to be your friend is truly on your side. And it's time you learn how to spot the envy and falsehood that lurk in people's hearts. You see, envy doesn't always show its ugly face right away. It's sneaky. It hides behind compliments and fake praise. It whispers in the background, quietly poisoning the bond you think you share with someone. And falsehood. It's a silent killer. It creeps into conversations with sweet words, but deep down, it's nothing but manipulation. Today, I'm going to show you how to recognize these toxic forces. And once you see them for what they truly are, you'll protect yourself like never before. Number one, they celebrate your failures, but diminish your successes. Envy is tricky. It doesn't always come with hatred. It comes with a smile. But pay attention. When you succeed, how does this person react? If they dismiss your accomplishments, downplay your victories, or find a way to twist your triumphs into something negative, that's envy at work. You see, envy can't handle seeing someone rise. It wants to see you fall, even if it has to pretend to support you. Envy doesn't always announce itself with loud, obvious signs. It's quiet, subtle, and sneaky. It shows up when you least expect it, often from people you thought you could trust. It hides in compliments that don't feel genuine and smiles that don't reach the eyes. Envy thrives in silence, in the unspoken feelings people carry when they look at your life and see something they wish they had. It's not about what you've done to them. It's about what you represent, a reminder of something they lack or something they feel they can't achieve. And that's why envy is so dangerous. It festers in the hearts of those who harbor it and spills out in ways that can harm you if you're not paying attention. Falsehood works the same way. It's not always bold or obvious. It's subtle, calculated, and intentional. People who operate in falsehood wear masks to conceal their true intentions. They say the right things, act the right way, and pretend to be on your side. But behind the scenes, they are plotting, twisting narratives, and creating stories that serve their agenda. These people are skilled at deception. They know how to hide their envy and cover it with words that sound supportive or actions that seem helpful. But make no mistake, their loyalty is paper thin and their intentions are far from pure. You've felt it before, haven't you? That uneasiness when someone congratulates you, but their tone doesn't match their words. That gut feeling when someone offers advice, but it feels more like criticism. You've seen the way their expression changes when you talk about your dreams, your success, or the things that make you happy. It's in those small moments, those almost imperceptible shifts, that envy reveals itself. Pay attention to how people respond to your joy. Pay attention to their energy when you're at your best, because those who carry envy in their hearts can't hide it forever. They'll celebrate your failures in subtle ways, masking their glee with concern or fake empathy. "Oh, I'm so sorry that didn't work out for you," they might say, but their eyes tell a different story. They're glad you stumbled because your success threatens them. And when you do succeed, they'll diminish it, finding ways to downplay your achievements or make them seem less significant. "That's great, but anyone could have done that," they might say. Or they'll shift the conversation to something else, refusing to give your victory the recognition it deserves. This is envy at work, eating away at their ability to genuinely support you. Then there are the whispers. The conversations you aren't a part of but somehow always hear about. The things they say behind your back while pretending to stand by your side. Falsehood thrives in these moments, in the lies and half-truths they spread when you're not looking. They want to plant seeds of doubt in others' minds about who you are, what you've done, or what you're capable of. These people are not just envious, they're dangerous. They'll sabotage your reputation if it means protecting their fragile egos. And don't overlook the pattern of reaching out only when they need something from you. Have you noticed it? The calls or messages that come when they're in trouble, when they need advice, a favor, or a handout. They take from you, but never give back. They're absent when you need, struggling, and know when you're struggling, you're way out of a dark place. But as soon as they see you rising, as soon as they see you thriving, they'll come running, not to celebrate with you, but to see what they can take. Envy fuels this behavior. It blinds them to the importance of genuine connection and makes them see relationships as opportunities for personal gain. It's in the small moments of your triumphs that envy becomes most visible. Watch how people react when you win. Do their eyes light up with joy for you, or do they look away, unable to hide their discomfort? Real friends celebrate your wins as if they were their own. They cheer for you, uplift you, and make you feel like your success is their success. But those who carry envy in their hearts can't do that. They'll change the subject, minimize your accomplishment, or even criticize it. That's good, but have you thought about doing it this way instead? They'll say turning your joy into something you need to fix or improve. And then there are the people who try to undermine your confidence. They'll disguise their envious concern, offering advice that feels more like an insult. Are you sure you're ready for that? They'll ask, planting seeds of doubt in your mind. They'll point out your flaws, highlight your mistakes, and question your decisions, all while pretending they're just trying to help. But don't be fooled. Their words are designed to make you second guess yourself, to pull you down to their level because they can't stand seeing you rise above them. The falsehood comes in many forms, but one of the most dangerous is when people pretend to be something they're not. They'll mirror your values, your dreams, and your passions, all in an effort to gain your trust. But their actions won't align with their words. They'll tell you they're loyal, but their loyalty will waver the moment it's tested. They'll claim to have your back, but they'll be the first to step away when things get tough. Falsehood is a mask they wear, and it's only a matter of time before it slips, revealing the truth beneath. You've probably experienced this before, the moment you realize someone's been pretending all along. It hurts, doesn't it? To know that the connection you thought was real was nothing more than a performance. But don't let that pain blind you to the lesson. When someone shows you who they truly are, believe them. I don't make excuses for their behavior. Don't convince yourself that they didn't mean it or that it's just a phase. Envy and falsehood are patterns, not accidents. And the sooner you recognize those patterns, the sooner you can protect yourself from their harm. This is not about paranoia or distrust, it's about awareness. It's about understanding that not everyone has your best interests at heart, no matter how close they seem. And while it's painful to accept, it's also freeing. Because once you learn to recognize envy and falsehood, you can begin to surround yourself with people who are genuine, supportive, and loyal. You can build a circle of trust that uplifts you instead of tearing you down. You can focus your energy on those who truly matter instead of wasting it on those who don't. Remember, not everyone is equipped to handle your success. Not everyone can celebrate your growth. And that's okay. You don't need everyone to understand your journey or approve of your path. You just need to know who's truly on your side and who's not. And when you recognize the signs of envy and falsehood, you'll see the truth clearly. You'll know who to trust, who to let go of, and who to keep close. That clarity is a gift. And it's one you give yourself by staying vigilant to the energy people bring into your life. Number 2. They talk behind your back. Words carry weight. And when someone speaks to you with kindness, but you hear something different, when they think you're not listening, that's a red flag. Falsehood hides behind every untruth spoken. Envy hides behind every lie. These people want to create doubt in your mind. They'll feed others negativity about you, hoping to tear you down from the inside. Be aware of the whispers in the shadows. Those are the voices of envy and deception. Falsehood is a master of disguise that hides behind kind words, warm smiles, and gestures that seem genuine. It blends in so effortlessly that it can take months, even years, to see it for what it truly is. Envy, on the other hand, thrives in silence. It's not always loud or aggressive. It whispers in the background, slowly eroding trust and planting seeds of doubt. These two forces, envy and falsehood, are some of the most destructive energies you'll ever encounter in relationships, and recognizing them is not just important, it's essential. When someone envies you, they might not even understand it themselves. They look at your life, your successes, or even your peace of mind, and it stirs something inside them. Maybe it's a reminder of what they don't have or what they feel they can't achieve. Maybe it's the way you carry yourself, the confidence you've worked hard to build, or the light you naturally bring into the room. Whatever it is, envy begins as silent resentment, and over time it grows. It turns into passive comments, subtle criticisms, or even outright attempts to undermine you. But it always starts small, almost unnoticeable. Falsehood is equally insidious. It's not the outliers that are most dangerous, it's the half-truths, the omissions, the carefully curated personas. People who operate in falsehood don't want you to see the real them because they know that if you did, you wouldn't trust them. So they build a facade. They mirror your values, pretend to share your dreams, and craft their words to sound like the perfect friend, partner, or ally. But underneath that mask is someone who isn't there for you. Someone who is only looking out for themselves. The danger with envy and falsehood is that they often come from those closest to you. It's not the stranger on the street who envies you, it's the friend you've shared your dreams with. It's not the coworker you barely know who operates in falsehood, it's the person you confide in, the one you believe has your back. This is what makes these forces so painful. They come from places where you expect love, support, and loyalty. And when you finally see them for what they are, it can shake you to your core. You've felt it before, haven't you? That shift in energy when you share good news with someone and their reaction doesn't quite match their words. They say all the right things, but there's something in their tone, in their body language that tells you they aren't genuinely happy for you. Or maybe it's the way they always seem to find a way to criticize your choices, even when you're proud of what you've accomplished. Are you sure that's a good idea? They'll ask, planting seeds of doubt where there should be encouragement. I mean, that's great and all, but don't you think you're aiming too high? These comments might seem harmless at first, but over time they chip away at your confidence. And that's exactly what envy wants to bring you down to its level. Falsehood operates differently, but is no less destructive. It hides in the gaps between what people say and what they do. It's in the promises that are never kept, the commitments that are always broken, the stories that never quite add up. People who live in falsehood are experts at manipulation. They know how to make you feel like you're the one who's overreacting, like you're imagining things. They'll gaslight you, shift the blame, or deflect the conversation whenever you try to address their inconsistencies. And because they've spent so much time building a facade, it's hard to see through it right away. Envy and falsehood often go hand in hand. Someone who envies you might pretend to support you while secretly hoping you fail. They might offer advice that seems helpful but is really designed to steer you off course. I think you should wait before taking that opportunity. They'll say not because they want what's best for you, but because they can't stand the thought of you succeeding before they do. Or they'll share your secrets with others, disguising it as concern or a need for advice. I'm just worried about them, they'll say, all while betraying your trust. You've likely experienced the pain of discovering someone's falsehood. Maybe it was a friend who promised to have your back but disappeared the moment things got tough. Maybe it was a partner who said all the right things but never followed through. Maybe it was a family member who claimed to support you but secretly undermined you at every turn. Whatever the situation, the realization hits hard. It makes you question everything, your judgment, your choices, even your worth. But here's the thing, their falsehood says more about them than it does about you. It's a reflection of their insecurities, their fears, their inability to be honest with themselves, let alone with you. Envy and falsehood can also manifest as a pattern of one-sided relationships. Have you noticed how some people only reach out when they need something? When they're in trouble, they're quick to call you, lean on you, and drain your energy. But when you're the one in need, they're suddenly too busy, too distracted, or simply unavailable. These people aren't in your life to support you, they're there to take from you. And the moment you stop giving, they'll disappear. Envy plays a role here too. They resent the strength, kindness, or resources you have, but they're more than willing to exploit them for their gain. One of the most telling signs of envy is the inability to celebrate your success. Real friends, real supporters will cheer for you like your victory is their own. They'll lift you up, encourage you, and make you feel like you conquer the world. But those who carry envy in their hearts can't do that. They might pretend at first, but their discomfort will show. They'll change the subject, find a way to make the conversation about them, or even criticize your achievement. That's great, but don't get too comfortable, they'll say, turning your joy into a moment of doubt. Falsehood, on the other hand, thrives in moments of vulnerability. It's when you're at your lowest that these people reveal their true colors. They might offer a helping hand, but there's always a catch. They'll use your struggles as leverage, a way to make you feel indebted to them, or they'll pretend to care only to use the information you share against you later. These are not the actions of someone who loves or respects you. These are the actions of someone who sees relationships as transactions, not connections. Recognizing envy and falsehood requires you to trust your instincts. Your intuition is powerful, even when it's subtle. If something feels off, it probably is. Pay attention to the patterns, the energy, and the way people make you feel. Do they uplift you or do they drain you? Do their actions align with their words, or is there always a gap between the two? These are the questions you need to ask yourself. You don't need to confront envy and falsehood with anger or bitterness. In fact, the most powerful thing you can do is quietly distance yourself. Protect your peace, your energy, and your spirit. Surround yourself with people who genuinely love and support you, people who celebrate your wins and stand by you in your losses. The more you focus on these positive connections, the less space there will be for envy and falsehood to thrive in your life. Number 3, they only reach out when they need something. When everything's going well in your life, where are they? When you're at your highest, are they there to support you, to celebrate you, see you on? Or do they only show up when they need something? Envy won't support you in your success. It'll only look to take from you when you're on top, but never give back when you need it most. It's a sobering truth that not everyone in your life is who they seem to be. Not every smile is genuine, and not every embrace is warm with love or loyalty. Some people wear masks so convincingly that you'd never suspect their intentions. They operate with quiet calculation, hiding their true selves behind gestures of kindness, words of encouragement, or offers of support. But if you look closely, the cracks in their facade begin to show. If you pay attention, you'll see the signs that they're not there to build you up, but to take advantage, to manipulate or quietly celebrate your downfall. It starts with subtle shifts in behavior. Maybe it's the way their enthusiasm dims when you share your successes. They might nod along, offer a polite "that's great," but their energy doesn't match their words. There's a hesitation, a lack of genuine excitement. Or perhaps it's the way they avoid conversations about your growth altogether, steering the subject away from your wins and back to themselves. They don't clap for you because deep down your achievements make them feel inadequate. They see your success as a mirror reflecting their own insecurities. And instead of addressing that within themselves, they let envy take root. Envy isn't always loud or obvious. It's not always in the outright criticisms or the passive-aggressive comments. Sometimes it hides in silence, the kind of silence that feels heavy, uncomfortable. It's in the absence of support when you need it most, and the lack of acknowledgement when you've worked hard to accomplish something. It's in the way they withdraw when they see you thriving, as if your happiness highlights their dissatisfaction with their own lives. These are the people who can't find it in themselves to genuinely celebrate you because your success feels like a threat to them. Then there are those who show their envy in more direct ways. They downplay your achievements, making them seem smaller than they are. "Oh, that's nice, but anyone could have done that," they'll say, as if to strip away the value of your hard work. Or they'll compare your journey to someone else's, subtly implying that what you've accomplished isn't enough. "Yeah, but did you see what so-and-so did? That's really impressive." These comments might seem harmless at first, but over time they chip away at your confidence. They make you question your worth, your abilities, and even the validity of your dreams. Envy doesn't just affect how people see you, it affects how they treat you. They might offer advice that seems helpful but is designed to hold you back. "Are you sure you're ready for that?" they'll ask, planting seeds of doubt in your mind. Or they'll highlight the risks and challenges of your plans, framing their negativity as concern. "I just don't want you to get hurt," they'll say, but their real motive is to keep you from rising too high. Because if you do, you'll leave them behind, and that's something their envy won't allow. Falsehood often walks hand in hand with envy, and together they create a toxic dynamic. People who operate in falsehood are masters of deception. They know how to say the right things, do the right things, and present themselves as exactly what you need in the moment. But their actions rarely align with their words. They make promises they never intend to keep, offer help they never deliver, and speak of loyalty while betraying you behind your back. These are the people who smile in your face but tear you down when you're not around. They spread lies, twist narratives, and create chaos, all while pretending to be on your side. You might not notice it at first because they're so skilled at hiding their intentions. They'll earn your trust by showing up when it's convenient for them, by saying what you want to hear, and by mimicking your values or interests. But over time, the truth reveals itself. You'll start to see the inconsistencies in their behavior, the gaps between their words and their actions. You'll notice how they seem to take more than they give, how their support feels conditional, and how their loyalty disappears the moment they no longer benefit from being in your life. One of the most telling signs of falsehood is how people react when you set boundaries, and those who are genuine will respect your limits, even if they don't always understand them. But those who operate in falsehood will push back, making you feel guilty for protecting your peace. They'll accuse you of being selfish or ungrateful, flipping the narrative to make themselves the victim. After everything I've done for you, they'll say, even if what they've done was more about their own gain than yours. This is a tactic to manipulate your emotions, to keep you in a position where they can continue to take from you. You've likely experienced this in relationships that felt one-sided, where you were the one constantly giving, constantly compromising, constantly making sacrifices. These people rarely show up for you in the same way. They're absent when you're struggling, quiet when you need encouragement, and indifferent when you're hurting. But the moment they need something from you, they're quick to call, text, or knock on your door. They don't see you as a person with your own needs and boundaries. They see you as a resource, something to be used and discarded when it's no longer convenient. Falsehood also reveals itself in how people handle the truth. Genuine people value honesty even when it's uncomfortable. They're willing to have difficult conversations, to admit their mistakes, and to own up to their actions. But those who live in falsehood avoid accountability at all costs. They'll deflect, deny, or shift the blame onto you. If you call them out on their behavior, they'll make you feel like you're the one in the wrong. You're being too sensitive, they'll say, or you're imagining things. This is a form of gaslighting, a way to make you question your own perceptions and keep you under their control. The pain of discovering envy and falsehood in someone you care about is profound. It's a betrayal that cuts deep because it comes from a place where you expected love, support, and loyalty. It makes you question your judgment, your trust, and even your ability to recognize who truly has your back. But as painful as it is, it's also a wake-up call. It's a reminder to pay attention to the energy people bring into your life, to trust your instincts, and to protect your peace. When someone envies you or operates in falsehood, it's not a reflection of your worth, it's a reflection of their own insecurities. Their envy is rooted in their inability to celebrate their own lives, and their falsehood is a result of their fear of being seen for who they truly are. This is not something you can fix or change. It's something they have to confront within themselves, and many never do. They choose to project their pain onto others rather than face it head on. You don't need to confront envy and falsehood with anger or bitterness. You don't need to expose them, argue with them, or prove anything to them. The most powerful response is to quietly distance yourself, to focus on your growth, and to surround yourself with people who genuinely care about you. People who celebrate your wins without jealousy, who support your dreams without judgment, and who stand by you in both your successes and your struggles. These are the people who deserve a place in your life. And the more you focus on them, the less space there will be for those who don't. Envy and falsehood thrive in the shadows, in the spaces where doubt and insecurity live. But when you bring them into the light, when you recognize them for what they are, they lose their power. You see the truth, and that truth sets you free. You realize that you don't need everyone to like you, support you, or understand your journey. You just need the right people in your corner, the ones who see your light and reflect it back to you, not the ones who try to dim it. The moment you understand this, you reclaim your power. You take back control of your energy, your focus, and your peace. And that is the greatest victory of all. Number 4, they can't be happy for your wins. Listen carefully. If someone claims to care about you but struggles to show genuine happiness for your accomplishments, that's a sign. They may pretend, but deep down their heart isn't in it. They'll change the subject, they'll find something wrong with your success, or they'll act like it doesn't matter. Real friends celebrate each other's victories. Fake friends can only feign happiness because envy eats away at their soul. There's a kind of power in silence, in stepping back and removing yourself from the chaos and letting others feel the weight of your absence. Sometimes the most impactful thing you can do is to simply stop engaging. Stop explaining yourself to people who've already made up their minds. Stop defending your worth to those who refuse to see it. Stop begging for respect from those who've shown you time and time again that they'll never give it willingly. Silence is not weakness, it's strength. It's the calm before the storm, the pause that forces people to confront the void you leave behind. When you step back, something remarkable begins to happen. The noise settles, and in that quiet space, the truth rises to the surface. People who've taken you for granted suddenly realize what they had. Those who thought you'd always be there, no matter how they treated you, are faced with the harsh reality that they were wrong. Your silence speaks louder than any words could, and it carries a message they can't ignore. You are done. Done with the games, the manipulation, the disrespect. Done with being taken for granted. It's not easy to step back, especially when your heart is involved. When you care deeply about someone, the instinct is to fight for the connection, to explain yourself, to try and fix what's broken. But some battles aren't worth fighting. Some people will never understand your value until they're forced to live without it. And even then, not everyone will see it. But that's not your burden to bear. Your responsibility is to yourself, to protect your peace, your energy, your self-respect. Staying silent doesn't mean you're weak or indifferent. It doesn't mean you don't care. It means you've chosen a different kind of strength, a strength that doesn't rely on confrontation or validation. It's the strength of knowing your worth without needing anyone else to confirm it. It's the strength of walking away when staying would only hurt you more. It's the strength of trusting that the people who truly value you will feel the weight of your absence and be moved to change, not because you forced them to, but because they finally see what they've lost. People often mistake kindness for weakness. They see your patience, your understanding, your willingness to forgive, and they think it's a license to continue their behavior. They assume you'll always be there, that no matter how they treat you, you'll keep coming back. But there comes a point when you have to show them otherwise, when you stop calling, stop texting, stop chasing, when you step back and let them feel the silence. That's when the real shift happens. Silence creates space for reflection. In that space, people are forced to confront their actions or lack thereof. They start to see the patterns they've ignored, the damage they've caused. They begin to understand that your presence wasn't guaranteed, that your love and support were gifts, not obligations. And for some, that realization will be enough to spark change. They'll reach out, not with empty words or shallow apologies, but with genuine efforts to make things right. They'll show through their actions that they've learned the value of what they almost lost. But not everyone will. Some people will continue to deny their role in the breakdown, to blame you for stepping back, to play the victim. They'll accuse you of being cold, of giving up, of not caring. They'll try to guilt you into coming back, into breaking your silence, into returning to the cycle. These people are not interested in change, they're interested in control. They want things to go back to the way they were, where they could mistreat you without consequences. And it's up to you to resist, to stand firm in your silence, to protect your boundaries, to prioritize your well-being. Stepping back isn't just about teaching others a lesson, it's about teaching yourself one too. It's about learning to be okay with not being liked, with not being understood, with not being everything to everyone. It's about finding peace within yourself, about valuing your own company, about realizing that your worth isn't tied to how others treat you. When you step back, you give yourself the gift of perspective. You see who truly values you and who only values what you can do for them. You see who steps up in your absence and who fades away, and that clarity is invaluable. Silence is powerful because it's unexpected. People are used to reactions to anger, to tears, to explanations. They're used to you trying to make things right, to fix the situation, to bridge the gap. When you step back and stay silent, it disrupts the dynamic. It forces them to confront themselves, to sit with the discomfort, to question their assumptions. It's in that discomfort that growth can happen, if they're willing to face it. But even if they're not, you've still taken back your power. You've chosen yourself, and that's a victory in itself. It's important to understand that silence is not the same as indifference. Indifference is the absence of care, the shutting down of emotions. Silence, on the other hand, is full of intention. It's a deliberate choice to conserve your energy, to focus on your healing, to let go of what no longer serves you. It's a way of saying, I care about myself enough to walk away from anything that diminishes me. And that's not just powerful, it's transformative. The people who truly care about you will feel your absence. They'll recognize the void you've left behind and be moved to fill it with something better. They'll take accountability for their actions, they'll listen to your silence, and they'll respond with growth. These are the people who deserve a place in your life, who are willing to meet you halfway, who value you for who you are, not just for what you provide. And when you see those efforts, when you see that genuine desire to make things right, you'll know that stepping back was the right choice. But for those who don't step up, who don't take accountability, who don't value your presence, let them go. Their inability to change is not a reflection of your worth, it's a reflection of their limitations. You deserve relationships that uplift you, that nurture you, that bring out the best in you. And sometimes, to find those relationships, you have to create space by letting go of the ones that don't. Stepping back is an act of self-respect. It's a way of reclaiming your power, of reminding yourself that you don't need to beg for what should be freely given. Respect, kindness, loyalty, these are not things you should have to fight for. They should be the foundation of any relationship, not rewards you have to earn. When you step back, you stop settling for less than you deserve. You set a standard for how you expect to be treated, and you give others the choice to rise to that standard or to fall away. Silence is not the absence of power, it's the presence of control. It's choosing not to react, not to be drawn into the drama, not to let others dictate your emotions. It's holding your ground, standing firm in your boundaries, and refusing to be pulled back into a cycle that doesn't serve you. It's a way of saying, I deserve better, and I'm not afraid to demand it. And in that demand, freedom. The beauty of stepping back and staying silent is that it allows you to focus on yourself, to pour your energy into your growth, your healing, your goals. It's a time to reflect on what you want, on who you are, on what you're willing to tolerate. It's a time to rebuild your confidence, to strengthen your sense of self, to remind yourself of your worth. And as you do, you'll find that the things you used to chase, the people you used to fight for, start to feel less important. You'll realize that you don't need them as much as you thought you did, that you're perfectly capable of standing on your own. When you step back and stay silent, you give others the opportunity to show you who they really are. Some will rise to the occasion, proving their love, their loyalty, their commitment. Others will fall away, revealing that their presence in your life was conditional, transactional, or superficial. Either way, you win. You gain clarity, you gain peace, you gain the ability to move forward without the weight of uncertainty. And that clarity is worth more than any hollow apology or empty promise. Number 5, they try to undermine your confidence. Envy will try to break you. It will target your strength, your confidence, your belief in yourself. If someone is always questioning your decisions, pointing out your flaws, or subtly putting you down, that's the voice of envy speaking. It wants you to doubt yourself, to question your worth. Be mindful of those who try to make you feel small. Real friends lift you up. They don't tear you down. There's a moment in life when you realize that not everyone is meant to stay in your circle. That not everyone who walks into your life is supposed to walk with you forever. People will come and people will go. Some will uplift you, nurture you, and help you grow into your best self. Others will take from you, drain you, and make you question your worth. The hardest lesson you'll ever learn is that letting go isn't about giving up on people. It's about choosing yourself. It's about recognizing when someone's presence no longer aligns with your peace, your purpose, and your progress. It's a painful truth that not all relationships are meant to last. Some people only come into your life to teach you a lesson, to show you what you deserve or what you should avoid. These lessons are not always kind. Sometimes they are delivered through heartbreak, betrayal, or disappointment. But as hard as those experiences are, they're necessary. They force you to look inward, to assess what you truly want and need, and to confront the boundaries you've been too afraid to enforce. They remind you that self-love isn't selfish, it's survival. When someone breaks you, truly breaks you, it leaves a scar that doesn't fade easily. You replay the moments, the words, the actions that led to the pain, searching for answers, for closure. You wonder what you could have done differently, where you went wrong, how you missed the signs. But here's the thing, someone breaking you says more about them than it does about you. It's a reflection of their inability to handle your light, your love, your kindness. It's not your job to carry the blame for their shortcomings. It's your job to heal, to grow, and to rise above. Letting go of someone who has hurt you is not about forgetting what happened. It's not about pretending the pain doesn't exist or acting as if it didn't change you, because it did. It shaped you. it taught you, made you stronger, wiser, and more resilient. But holding on to that hurt, to that person, only keeps you tied to the past. It's like carrying a weight that drags you down, that keeps you from moving forward. The only way to truly heal is to release it, to let go, not for them, but for yourself. The person who broke you doesn't deserve to hold power over your life any longer. They don't deserve your thoughts, your energy, your tears. By holding on to them, even in anger or pain, you're giving them space in your heart that could be used for your own growth and happiness. You're allowing them to dictate how you feel, how you see yourself, how you move through the world. And they don't deserve that. They don't deserve the privilege of occupying your mind and spirit. You deserve freedom from their shadow, freedom to rediscover your light. Sometimes the hardest part of letting go is the fear of what comes next. You've spent so much time, so much energy investing in this person, in this relationship, that the idea of starting over feels overwhelming. You question whether you'll find someone else who understands you, who loves you, who values you. But here's the truth. Starting over isn't something to fear, it's something to embrace. It's a chance to rewrite your story, to choose yourself, to set new standards for the love and respect you deserve. Letting go doesn't mean you didn't care. It doesn't mean the relationship didn't matter or that the memories aren't real. It means you've chosen to stop allowing the pain to define you. It means you've decided to honor yourself, your worth, and your future more than you honor the past. It means you've recognized that staying in a place of hurt only delays your healing, and you're ready to step into the light, even if it means walking away from the familiar. The process of letting go is rarely linear. Some days you'll feel strong, confident, ready to take on the world. Other days, the weight of the memories will pull you back, making you doubt your decision, your strength, your worth. That's okay. Healing isn't about being perfect, it's about being patient with yourself. It's about understanding that progress is messy, that setbacks are part of the journey, that every step you take, no matter how small, is a step toward freedom. One of the hardest truths to accept is that closure doesn't always come from the person who hurt you. You may never get the apology you deserve, the explanation you crave, the acknowledgement of your pain. And that's okay. Closure isn't something someone else gives you, it's something you create for yourself. It's the moment you decide that their actions no longer control your emotions, that their absence no longer defines your value, their mistakes no longer dictate your future. It's the moment you choose to close the door, not because they've made amends, but because you've made peace with yourself. There's a quiet power in reclaiming your life after someone has broken you. It's in the way you pick yourself up piece by piece, even when it feels impossible. It's in the way you start to see your own worth again, even when their words and actions try to convince you otherwise. It's in the way you rebuild stronger than before, with boundaries that protect your heart and a vision that prioritizes your peace. That power doesn't come from anyone else, it comes from within you. It's yours and no one can take it away. Letting go is not about erasing the past. It's about embracing the future. It's about choosing to live in the present, to focus on what brings you joy, what nourishes your soul, what makes you feel alive. It's about surrounding yourself with people who uplift you, who see your value, who respect your boundaries. It's about creating a life that reflects your worth, your strength, your resilience. And in doing so, you'll find that the pain begins to fade, replaced by a sense of freedom, of possibility, of hope. When someone has broken you, it's easy to lose trust in others, in yourself, in the world. You build walls to protect your heart, to keep the pain from happening again. And while those walls may feel safe, they also keep out the light. They keep you from experiencing the beauty of connection, the joy of love, the comfort of support. Letting go isn't just about releasing the person who hurt you. It's about tearing down those walls, brick by brick, to let the light back in. It's about learning to trust again, not because everyone deserves it, but because you do. There will be moments when the memories resurface, when the pain feels fresh again, when you wonder if you made the right choice. In those moments, remind yourself of who you are. Remind yourself of the strength it took to step away, the courage it took to choose yourself, the resilience it took to keep going. Remind yourself that healing is not about erasing the past, but about reclaiming your future. And as you do, you'll find that the weight begins to lift, that the light starts to shine through, that the pieces of your heart begin to mend. Number 6, they pretend to be something they're not. Falsehood is a master of disguise. The biggest lie is the one told with a smile. People who wear masks can fool you for a while, but the truth always finds a way to come out. If someone's personality shifts based on who's around, or they put on a facade to get what they want, don't ignore it. When they're pretending to be something they're not, that's their envy and falsehood trying to manipulate you into giving them what they crave. There comes a time in life when you have to face the truth that not everyone around you has good intentions. Sometimes the people closest to you are the ones who harbor envy, resentment, or even deceit. They smile in your face, yet their hearts are heavy with bitterness. They offer kind words, but their actions whisper betrayal. It's one of the hardest lessons to learn, but it's crucial to your peace, your growth, and your success. Recognizing envy and falsehood in others isn't just about protecting yourself. It's about preserving your energy, your dreams, and your future. The thing about envy is that it rarely announces itself. No one's going to walk up to you and say, "I'm jealous of what you have." Instead, it reveals itself in subtle ways, in backhanded compliments, in sudden distance, and the inability to celebrate your wins. Envy is a silent poison that twists admiration into resentment, turning people who once clapped for you into those who quietly hope for your downfall. You'll notice it when someone seems just a little too bothered by your happiness, a little too invested in your struggles, a little too eager to downplay your success. It's painful to acknowledge envy in those you care about because you want to believe the best in people. You want to think that those who claim to love you truly mean it, that they're rooting for you, that they're proud of your achievements. But envy doesn't always stem from hatred. Often it comes from insecurity. It's not about you. It's about them, about what they feel they lack, about the parts of themselves they see reflected in your success. And while you can empathize with their pain, you can't let it infect your life. Falsehood is just as dangerous as envy, if not more so. It hides behind masks, disguising intentions, emotions, and creating illusions. Falsehood is a friend who smiles to your face but spreads lies behind your back. It's a colleague who pretends to support your goals while secretly undermining your efforts. It's a partner who says all the right things but whose actions betray their words. Falsehood thrives on your trust, feeding on your vulnerability, growing stronger the longer it goes unchecked. The problem is, most of us want to give people the benefit of the doubt. We convince ourselves that we're overthinking, that we're being paranoid, that the people we care about couldn't possibly be envious or false. But ignoring the signs doesn't make them disappear. It only gives those emotions room to grow. The longer you dismiss the uneasy feelings in your gut, the more damage envy and falsehood can do. It's not about being suspicious of everyone, it's about being discerning, about trusting your intuition, about knowing when to take a step back. When someone envies you, they often can't but let it slip out in small, almost unnoticeable ways. Pay attention to how people react to your joy. Do they genuinely celebrate with you, or do they find a way to downplay your accomplishments? Are they happy for you when good things happen, or do they seem irritated even if they try to hide it? Envy can be subtle, but it's always there if you look closely enough. It's in the way someone suddenly becomes distant after you achieve something significant. It's in the passive-aggressive remarks, the half-hearted congratulations, the consistent failure to be happy for you. One of the hardest things about recognizing envy and falsehood is the emotional toll it takes. It hurts to realize that someone you care about doesn't truly wish you well. It's painful to accept that someone you've trusted has been dishonest with you. But the sooner you confront these truths, the sooner you can protect yourself. Ignoring the signs only allows the envy and deceit to grow, to seep into your life, to cause more harm than it already has. Facing it head on is uncomfortable, but it's necessary for your peace and your progress. It's important to remember that not everyone who envies you or deceives you is a bad person. Sometimes they're just people who are struggling with their own issues, who don't know how to handle their insecurities, who are caught up in their own pain. While that doesn't excuse their behavior, it can help you approach the situation with compassion. You don't have to confront them with anger or cut them off completely. You can simply create distance, set boundaries, and protect yourself without letting their negativity consume you. Recognizing envy and falsehood in others isn't about becoming cynical or distrustful. It's about being aware, about understanding that not everyone who smiles at you has good intentions, about knowing when to walk away from relationships that no longer serve you. It's about valuing your own well-being enough to prioritize it, even when it's difficult, even when it hurts. It's about choosing people who lift you up, who celebrate your wins, who are honest with you, even when the truth is hard to hear. The beauty of recognizing envy and falsehood is that it clears the path for genuine connections. When you remove those who secretly wish for your failure or manipulate your trust, you make room for people who truly care about you. You create space for relationships built on mutual respect, trust, and love. You surround yourself with people who celebrate your successes as if they were their own, who stand by you in your struggles, who are honest and loyal even when no one's watching. These are the relationships that nourish your soul, that inspire you to be better, that remind you of the goodness in the world. It's not your job to fix people who envy you or deceive you. It's not your responsibility to change their hearts, to make them see the harm they're causing, to try and force them into becoming better. Your responsibility is to yourself, to your peace, to your growth. You can love people from a distance. You can forgive them without allowing them back into your life. You can wish them well while still walking away. Protecting your energy isn't selfish, it's necessary. You can't pour from an empty cup, and you can't thrive in an environment filled with negativity and deceit. There's power in letting go of what no longer serves you. When you release envious and false people from your life, you take back your energy, your focus, your joy. You free yourself from the weight of their negativity, from the burden of their resentment, from the shadow of their dishonesty. You step into a space of clarity, of peace, of purpose, and in that space you find the strength to move forward, to pursue your goals, to surround yourself with people who truly see your value. Now, I know this might hurt. It's painful to recognize that the people we trust might not have our best intentions. But the truth is this: the moment you recognize envy and falsehood, you can begin to protect yourself. You don't have to let their negativity invade your life. You don't have to allow their jealousy to dim your light. Your success is yours to keep. Your happiness is yours to protect. So the next time someone shows you their true colors, don't be afraid to walk away. Don't be afraid to say, "I see you for who you are." Because when you do, you'll create space in your life for the real ones, the ones who lift you, who cheer you on, who celebrate your wins as if they were their own. Don't let envy or falsehood steal your peace. You were meant for so much more. And it starts with knowing who's truly on your side.